Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the All Mid Wrestling Podcast featuring your host, me, Fratanga Plays, and across the table, that Muppet right there, that green bastard, Delta. How you doing?
It's that time of the week, everyone. Good to see y'all.
You were playing Party Animals for about, 30 minutes before hopping on here.
Yeah, I was doing that and playing Call of Duty earlier. So,
Gee, look at you, casual pleb. You're what's wrong with gaming, Delta. You're what's wrong with gaming. You're ruining gaming, buying all these casual games.
I know. It was on sale. I was like, fuck it.
Like, what? It's pretty fun, dude.
Pretty fun, dude.
Fun, dude. Okay, anyways, so, honestly, I'll be real with you, chat. Last night I was watching Smackdown, and I was like, how do wrestling channels do this for a living? This is even more exhausting than keeping up with what's going on in the video game industry. Keeping up with what's going on in wrestling is a lot of work. So shout out to all the people who cover it and dedicate their lives to it. So shout out to you, Solid Monsters. Shout out to you, JD from NY. Shout out to Wrestle Talk, What Culture. Shout out to all of those guys. Shout out to Wrestling with Reality, Wrestling Soup, Don Tony, Kevin Castle, all of those guys who really cover this because, man, sometimes you tell yourself this is almost impossible to enjoy on a weekly basis. Like, I could totally enjoy wrestling if I was keeping up with it monthly, right? But when you're keeping up with it weekly, because there's so much of it throughout the week, it's like, I just got a year's worth of wrestling condensed in a week. You know what I mean?
Feels like it's a lot of content to consume within a week. It's crazy. I can see why these guys do it like almost like a weekly, like almost like every show ends, they do it right afterwards. That way it's fresh in their mind. You get their instant reaction. I can understand that. We might, I don't know, if depending on this channel expands, we might have to go about that as well.
Well,
because there's so much content to consume.
This channel is growing and we are expanding and we will be number one. We will be one of the best wrestling podcasts. I promise you that. We suck now, but we'll get good. Just you wait.
Suck ass now, but we are working to suck less.
Just you wait till we get those wrestling based dedicated videos out, talking about wrestling subjects. Those are going to be really fun because those will be highly edited on my part. They'll go above and beyond what the average wrestling YouTuber does. But to be fair, the average wrestling YouTubers making like 5 videos a day. And that's a lot to cover. So, anyway.
Speaking of editing, also, I did buy the Vegas software as well.
Excellent! If you got questions, just fucking hit me up. I'm an expert on this software.
I'll hit you up. That's what I can do.
Yeah, I see everybody have trouble with their motion tracking and when editing their videos. And I'm like, let me guess. You guys used Adobe, huh? I'm like, how did you know? I'm like, because of the motion tracking. I can tell. The motion tracking on Adobe is absolute trash when you see it. Anyway, so, yeah, like I was saying, SmackDown felt very soulless. It felt very, felt very on the script. How can I say it? Like, they're not...
manufactured.
Very corporate.
Feels like phoned in. Very phoned in.
Everything in wrestling is just very, how can I put it? It's not hard hitting, right? So seeing some guy get his head smacked on the announce table is not the same as it was even 10 years ago. It's so all right, let me move you to the place where we do the spot we do every week. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you have to put out content because, well, people want content more than they want good content. They want something to consume, think, and talk about every day. And so, in that case, wrestling has been giving people a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, this episode of SmackDown gave me very little to talk about, other than AJ Styles' return, which... you put it in our Discord messages. You're like, AJ has just gone nowhere since he lost the title, and I agree. AJ just been kind of floating. He's been wandering out into nothing. He had his match with Undertaker, right? He gave Undertaker his
That was
last
like the
match.
last big highlight.
That was the last highlight of his career, is giving Undertaker his last match, which I would have felt honored and privileged to have done. I would have been like, dude, I retired the old man. So yeah. Anyway, Delta, we talked about this last week about us taking turns going over recaps. So today is your turn. So open up that Bleacher Report and go over some of Raw for us today. And we'll cover SmackDown. I didn't have a time. We didn't watch Collision, obviously. But maybe if Delta wants to give me his thoughts on that later today, that'd be cool. Anyway, so yeah, go do the Raw one, and also for those of you who are wondering if we're gonna do live shows, I do plan on doing live shows on this channel eventually. I want to set it up, but live shows won't be stuff covering, like, recapping wrestling. It'll be like, it'll be wrestling centric. So we'll see how these streams go, because I don't want them to become complete chaos like the streams on my main channel. All right, you got the Bleacher Report?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. Start reading for us.
Well, it's starting to hear. We're going to start off the whole thing right here. After the usual recap video from last week's show, Jey Uso made his way to the ring for the first match of the night against Drew McIntyre, because they were discussing about, like, Drew wants to get his hands on Jey Uso, and he's finally has his opportunity to get his chance on it. Mm-hmm. So both men spoke a bit before the match started. McIntyre apologized for attacking Sami Zayn last week, but only to make it a point for Jey rather than to apologize. Let's see here. Once the bell rang, Jey immediately started unloading on the Scottish Warrior. He sent him out of the ring, which sent the show into a break. Great. That's another thing. I gotta point out, like, it's like these big story segments. I hate how they do this, where they had the commercial out for this type of deal. Like, it's just like, I can say that. It's like, it's annoying. It's like it's a pivotal kind of storyline, especially for McIntyre's arc, and especially because he's trying to, like, get revenge on all the people from the bloodline. This should be a pivotal thing. At least this part, because I feel like the rest of the card, it's kind of like, for the night, it's kind of like, eh. So this is kind of a pivotal thing, and they should be keeping it that way. So as commercial free, in my opinion.
So we hit a commercial break that soon in the show?
Yes, it was like mid match. We went to commercial break.
Man, it's
after you sent them out to the ring. So
when they open up Raw with in-ring segments, that's when they're not going to have a commercial break. When they open up Raw with the match, expect a commercial break at the beginning. So I don't know how this works. I don't know if WWE gets to choose ad placement or if it's already chosen for them. I need to look into it.
It could be predetermined. It could be predetermined, yeah.
But ad placement definitely affects the card and how it's set up quite a bit. So I would rework that, because Jey and McIntyre, that's not really a match. That's a match that you're taken out of it when there's an ad in the middle of the match. But anyway,
it really is. It breaks all the momentum and the flow of the match, if you ask me.
All right, continue.
But anyway, when we return, the two-time WWE champion was demolishing Uso with the heavy right hands. He misjudged the Claymore at the ringside and ended up being at the top of the announcement table, giving Uso the chance to fight back. Between the promo and the match, WWE gave them the first 30 minutes of the show.
30 minutes?
You clearly didn't, because you gave it a commercial break right there. I don't think you really did.
They make more like 25 minutes. But
yeah, exactly. This was a solid encounter that improved on the performance that they put on from a few weeks ago. Both men played their roles well, especially the Scottish Warrior. Honestly, you need to drop the Warrior, go back to Psychopath. That's just
the Scottish Psychopath is way more, like, menacing, way more I would use Scottish Psychopath for, like, as like a wrestling ring name way more. But
especially because he's hell bent. Like, he's got that revenge only a psychopath would have.
I'm sorry, but it's like well, Drew doesn't really have like a. Here's the thing about Drew's character that makes it a good heel. What works as a heel is that he didn't get screwed out of anything. It's all on him. He lost clean on everything.
Yes.
He didn't get screwed over. So when he's mad at the world about it, when he wants title matches after losing, it gives fans a sour taste on him, because and that's how a heel should be doing it. A heel should be like a sore loser like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So to that
And
extent,
I think his arc has been good. I think his arc's been good, but I feel like it's kind of a half step, if you ask me personally.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just me though.
But anyway, how did that match go? Anyway, how did it end? Sorry.
The match ended up with Drew McIntyre defeating Jey Uso
Surprise,
because McIntyre
surprise.
resorted to using. Yeah, exactly. He resorted to using a thumb to the eye to get the upper hand before hitting the Claymore for the win on that one. He had a good shot too, because he had a shot off the top of the turnbuckle with Jay, and that looked pretty brutal if you look at the clip in there. It was pretty rough. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
have to ask, just wrestling psychology kind of thing here, but what sense does it make for, Drew McIntyre and Jay to have a far more competitive, longer match on the opening of Raw than for him and Rollins to have had a more competitive title match last week,
Oh, because I think them and the audience know it ain't gonna change hands, man. This ain't back in the
I
'90s,
guess
bro.
you're right. I guess in that sense, yeah, that makes sense. So they probably didn't go all out for their title match, but I mean, like for me, it's like last week I watched Jay get his ass handed to him pretty easily. This week he's giving Drew a hard time to the point that Drew has to rely on dirty tactics to win, right? So I mean, it elevates Jay, but it is weird. It's like that was almost a little too competitive for Drew McIntyre's like character, who's clearly way bigger, and is actually a former champ.
Right?
A former champ going down that took him a while. He won, but it took him quite a bit. That's a long match, dude. They gave him 30. The first 30 minutes of the show was dedicated to these two. Holy fuck. They must have had nothing on the card. So let's see if that's true. Continue reading on.
Yeah, because we followed up with afterwards, after the backstage finish with Alpha Academy and the Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley and Maxine Dupree came out for their non-title match. Ivy Nile accompanied the former model manager. Dupree was hit with an ill-advised slap to start things off, which only served to anger the Eradicator. After hitting the Riptide, the champion taunted Dupree before locking her into a signature submission for the win. This is a short but dominant performance from Ripley, and it's just too bad that the biggest women in the match was almost a near botch, basically. I mean, like, I saw the finisher part. Man, Rhea Ripley folded Maxine Dupree like a freaking pretzel. I tell you right then
Did
and
she
there. Like, holy
actually?
shit. I wish she would fold me like a pretzel. Personally, that's just me though.
Did she actually stun her by accident, or what happened?
Yeah, it looked like a botch from what I saw.
Oof.
Like a big botch from what I saw.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
the botch that scares me is seeing Nia Jax ass falling on people's heads. That botch
Yeah,
scares me.
right. That's a neck breaker at the very least.
That botch is
squash the head.
that botch. I would be suing Nia Jax for that botch. Okay, so Rhea Ripley goes out, looks like a dominant champion. That's good.
As usual.
Yeah.
As usual. I
They
mean,
gave
I
this
really
match-
didn't
they
expect
gave this match-
Maxine Dupree. Did we even expect Maxine Dupree really to take out Rhea Ripley of all people? Come on.
No. No. I will say, though, I want to see Rhea Ripley continue to pin, like, legitimate names. Keep making a legitimate name for herself, right?
Well, that's the thing, though. Now, here's the thing, though. It makes you wonder what other legit names are left, though, on the roster.
Nothing! That's nothing! The women's roster has nothing! Let me what we got. Becky Lynch, Charlotte, fucking, is it
not to mention, we're gonna talk about it later on. It says Charlotte's out of commission right now for 9 months at the very least right now due to her injury.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to take into consideration. And another thing on top of that too, we're approaching the Royal Rumble, and you're hearing the whispers from Sean Ross Sapp saying that Mercedes Mion, whatever, how do you pronounce her last name? I'm sorry, Chad, but Sasha Banks might be returning to WWE
Mercedes
now
Moné.
Thank you for correcting me on that. Mercedes Moné might be returning to WWE as Sasha Banks due to the plans that were supposedly going to happen with AEW are possibly no longer in play now.
Oh,
And this, if anyone that's like follows the IWC, you've been seeing her on her Instagram talking about Triple H, having phone calls with her lately. She's been posting photos of her NXT days back in the day with her on her Instagram.
No.
So it makes you wonder, is Sasha Banks going to make a return at the Royal Rumble because due to the lack of a women's roster to work with?
No, please, no. No more of I want to be my hero, just like Eddie Guerrero. No. No more Sasha. Listen, WWE, Triple H, Vince. If you got, well, no, Vince isn't in charge of anything anymore. Well,
It's ain't even in discussion anymore.
yeah, Vince isn't even a part of this discussion anymore. My bad. Trips. If you take back Sasha Banks, you're a fucking cock. Fuck this
He's taking
bitch.
her back.
Fuck this bitch,
He's
dude.
gonna bring her back. It's
Fuck
gonna
this
happen.
bitch. I mean, it's wrestling, so they will give the fans what they want over
Exactly.
their own. You have to give the people what they want. I don't see demand for Sasha Banks anywhere. Do you?
I do.
You
I
do?
can totally see the demand. I do. I can totally see her with
You
a
think
huge
so?
pop coming back. I think so.
Oh.
And not to mention too, like it's with the CM Punk making the return. It's a big signal for a lot of people that are hesitant to come back. That if he's here and he's happy to be here, then a lot of people are going to make a return. And Triple H, like I said, is going to try to find any talent that Tony Khan might be looking to get, whether it's big or small, and he's going to take it away from him.
Yeah, Triple H definitely values talent way differently than Vince did, doesn't he? Because his priority is snatching up talent. That's what he said anyway. The talent matters the most. I mean, you don't have a wrestling card.
His main goal is to take out AEW. That's his goal. He's already gotten, crap about it prior to that like, oh, NXT was losing in the ratings and all that stuff. He that comment stuck with him. And I think like he wants to make a statement right then and there that I, being the new leader, had taken out the competition right off the bat within the first couple of years of me starting here fully controlling the creative control now. So I can totally see that being Triple H. And now he's got the funding of Endeavor behind him. I can totally see it happening.
You see him doing it for the bragging rights.
Oh yeah.
Very well could be. I mean, Triple H no longer thinks like a superstar. He thinks like a businessman in the back, but he still has that ego on his shoulders.
They all got egos.
Yeah, but anyway, as for Sasha Banks, I am dreading that return. It's definitely a lot more possible than not possible, than being impossible, because fans do still like her. I despise Sasha Banks, especially the way she left, especially her attitude towards this company. Just being able to, the way she left this company, I would have never hired her ass again to send a message to everybody. But, money talks, and I guess that's why she's called Money. Holy fuck, dude! Did you see her promo when she debuted? I think it was in New Japan, or I don't know where it was.
Yep.
And she's like, dude, that promo. Oh my fucking god! If I could share it with you, you've seen it, haven't you? Right? Like it's just.
I have seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh my fucking god, bro! She was at one point considered one of the 4 horsewomen. Bro, if you're going to be one of the horsewomen, you have to have promo skills. She doesn't have any. Sasha Banks does not have
horsewomen in general. The horsewomen in general, in my opinion, are a complete joke.
Yeah. I mean, except for Charlotte. Charlotte is a generational talent, I guess. She is the best women's wrestler. But I mean, it's all in the genes, really, for her. She's a natural at being in the ring. And she's not half bad on the mic. She's not like, wow, amazing, but she's not half bad. But anyway, that's done. So go to our notable moments and observations here. What does it say?
Yeah. What was it again? R-Truth had a backstage segment that was hilarious. It's great to see him back on Raw. It'd be nice to see him have some matches here and there. I agree with that for sure. It'd be nice to have R-Truth actually have some, show himself in the ring every now and then rather than just be a joke in the backstage. Kind of like Tawazaka, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It feels like Tawazaka's got more matches than him right now out there for this year. Give him one more match for the year ends. Come on, man.
Me, R-Truth is like, what, 50? He's in his 50s, isn't he?
But come on, he can do it.
Bro, he's in his 50s, and he doesn't look stiff in the ring at all, which is wild. You know what I mean? Like, not like stiff shotting, but like he's very fluid in the ring. Is like he doesn't look like he's slowed down, and neither does like John Morrison, who should be on WWE right now. They should definitely get John out of AEW.
Right.
Okay, let's see. What's this Nia versus Ripley match? Okay, no.
Needs to start building up due to their short interaction. This reader believes that shows some intrigueness. Which I mean, again, more people, for Rhea Ripley to go up against the better. Like at least they're trying. At least I'll give Rhea Ripley credit. She tries her best to work with every talent on the roster, and she's not just like feuding with the same women over and over and over. She is trying to show some variation to show how much of a dominant women's champion that she is. I will give her that credit. So,
but at the same time, neither of us are like, we're not sweating when she has a match with anybody. The only time we'll sweat is the only time I'm gonna be sweating is if it's like it's gonna be Rhea Ripley versus Ronda Rousey or Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, she might lose the belt tonight. But against everybody else, I'm like, are you kidding me? No.
They just don't build them up. They don't build them up as much as those women do. And the problem is that also most of the women there, they pull the ladder up behind them.
Well, Rhea and Asuka though, that would be an interesting.
That'd be interesting.
That bout would make me be like, okay, she could lose the belt to Asuka,
Yeah.
Very, very, but very few on the women's roster have that aura to them where you're just like, okay, yeah, this person could win. Anyway, so Muffin Man CM Punk, right? He had his segment. I saw this. A lot of people.
Pepsi Man.
Yeah, Pepsi Man. Pepsi. His Pepsi tattoo. Does he still have it? I didn't even.
He still has Pepsi. Phil still has his tattoo. Yeah.
CM Punk in his whole straight edge phase, or I don't know why I say phase. He's still straight edge.
Still straight edge. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was like, I like Pepsi. And people are like, that's still bad for you. And he's like, well, that was bad. I think it was during his. It was definitely during his straight edge gimmick, where he would intentionally get into arguments with people who like doing drugs and drinking, and I would laugh. I'm like, it's funny because like CM Punk is right, but because he's an asshole, it's heelish, even though he's right. Like drinking is bad for you. He's right, and the fans were like, "Fuck you." It was great heel work.
I remember the whole thing between him and like Chris Jericho. That was crazy. Remember that back in the
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, that was wild. It was kind of crazy because I felt like that feud should have received way more eyes. Like more people should have been invested in that feud. I don't know. It was good though. It was great. Like all the personal shit they did. I thought it was a little ridiculous when they were trying to sell that CM Punk was drunk during an episode of Raw, only to trick Jericho, that kind of shit. But anyway, talk about this in-ring segment.
The in-ring segment here. CM Punk shows up to Raw to make his choice finally here. CM Punk came to the Raw manager, Adam Pearce, to talk about which brand he's going to choose. He spoke about debuting for WWE in the same building before being sent to OVW. He talked about having to make a tough decision 10 years ago and even apologized to the fans who were upset to see him return to WWE. He then declared that he was signing with Raw and putting his signature on the contract to make it official. Before he was able to celebrate too much, though, Seth Rollins, though, showed up. They started with stared at each other. Long pause. It was a nice build-up moment. It felt like they were doing a nice build-up right there, honestly. I really like that, honestly. Like, when I saw that whole thing, it's like you felt the tension, the hype starting to build up, the possibility and the ideas of what could come of this. And, and you think, like, oh, this is definitely night one main event of WrestleMania right here.
Oh, fans are sold on this match. Like, they're sold on it.
So.
And you know what's crazy, though? When they do end up fighting for the belt, which is obvious, I still think Seth Rollins is going to win.
I agree with that. I think that's for Punk. He does not care if he wins or loses that match. He just wants the main event. And I think that's really realistically, that is the smart thing to do, is not have Punk win the main event and have Rollins win it.
It's just one of his goals in life was to main event a WrestleMania card, right? That was one of Punk's things. It's kind of crazy because for me, like Punk, instead of main eventing WrestleMania, got to wrestle the Undertaker at one WrestleMania. That's a privilege for me.
That was a great match, and that was a great match too.
Yeah. It was a very good match. Anyway, so what did these two say? What did say to each other after they were done staring passionately into each other's eyes.
All right, so like after the stare down was done right here, Seth Rollins grabbed the mic. Um, yeah. So he grabbed the mic and told Punk not to call WWE his home after spending 10 years trying to tear it down and talk trash about everyone backstage, which is true. I mean, he did make a lot of comments, off the cuff comments in a podcast with Cole Cabana back in the day.
He did.
So
Well, I mean, when he did that,
mostly towards management though, mostly towards management and wrestlers that weren't unsafe.
I mean, like he only like realistically looking back, he only really called out Triple H, who deserved it. Fucking Ryback, who deserved it because Ryback was dangerous. He hurt people.
There's a reason why Ryback's in nowhere.
But if you notice,
sitting at home.
If you notice, he never called out John Cena. He never called out Undertaker. Like he talked about them. He talked about them, but he never disrespected them. And then Undertaker himself said like, "No, me and Punk are cool." Cena's like, "No, me and Punk are fine." So any comments he's made has been made towards people who deserve it, but at the same time, when Punk whines, Punk does sound like a whiner at times, right? He's like, "Wow, I was hurt. Wow, wow, wow," and then you hear other wrestlers just like, "I lost my eye in the middle of a match, and I still kept wrestling," right? So Punk had this it felt a little hypocritical because Punk would in an interview, people were asking him, and he's like, "Is wrestling a tough sport?" He's like, "Yes, it is." He's like, "Do you have to be tough backstage to be in wrestling?" He's like, "Not anymore." I was like, you don't really know what tough is, Punk. You had a rough ride with WWE, but I don't know if it really compares to other people's endeavors.
Right.
It just, I don't know. It always, and that's why a lot of people don't like Punk. They feel like he's just a whiner. But anyway, so Rollins is a company guy, obviously. So
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So continue with this reading.
So anyway, yeah. So after the 10 years, he even apologized to fans who were upset for seeing him return to the WWE. Declared that he was signing with Raw. Put his signature on. Okay, after this, sorry, my apologies here. Yeah, after tearing for the last 10 years, tearing it down, talking trash about everyone backstage, he said if Punk was going to be in the WWE, he wants him on Raw so he can expose him for being the fraud that he is and wrestle circles around him. Punk told Pierce that he was going to enter the Royal Rumble so that he could win and challenge Rollins for the WrestleMania 40. This is a good piece of business. Both men delivered solid promos and built a possible match that's going to sell a lot of tickets. There seems to be some genuine emotion coming from Rollins, which makes things more entertaining. And I honestly I do see Rollins is good in terms of showing the emotion for if he's really passionate about trying to do. That's the thing is everyone looks at especially the whole Survivor Series, him cursing and middle fingers up in the air towards Punk and everything. He's good at selling it. I'll get it. He's great at selling a match. In my opinion, because remember, you've seen him before, with him with fucking Matt Riddle when they had that back and forth with each other at one point. It's even with him and Triple H when he was faking the injury, and then finally proved that he wasn't injured anymore and he was going to go against them. That whole arc was great and fantastic for that run.
Oh yeah, Punk is not Punk. Sorry, Rollins is excellent at. He did an excellent job at selling me on him having actual issues with Punk. So them allowing him to cuss in front of kids off the camera, off air, really helped that sell over. Because I thought for a minute, I was like, oh, there's some actual blood here. And when they had their in-ring promo, honestly, if I'm being real with you, I wouldn't have had these two talk. I would have had Rollins come out there and just start swinging right away, start a brawl between these two. Because the way Rollins looked pissed off about it, it almost looked like he was ready to lunge at Punk at any minute, right?
He did. He really did.
Yeah, but instead he comes out here and talks to him all professionally and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if you really want to sell me on that, there should have been a bloody nose between these two. Just some blood to start off with. But either way, Punk's already basically told everybody what his plans are. we can all basically
Yep.
expect this. Rollins and Punk at Mania for the title. So I'm not expecting Rollins to lose the title to Damian anytime soon. I'm not expecting Damian to use that briefcase till Mania. Really, I think he's gonna use it on Punk. He's gonna use it on Punk, isn't he? That way Punk gets his Mania moment, and then Damian looks kind of badass for cashing it in on Punk. You know, everyone who's ever cashed in Money in the Bank and won has ended up somewhere for the most part. And it would be kind of funny if someone finally did that to Punk. Oh, no, someone already did it to Punk. But if they did it to him again, right? Because Punk did it twice. He did it to, he won the Money in the Bank twice, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, so, apparently Bronson Reed and Ivar got another match?
Yeah. I mean, the two big sweaty men, slapping a lot,
Yeah, but they had a match last week, right? That ended in a brawl?
Yeah, and then they continue it on here.
Yeah, that's okay. Cool. Looks like they gave this one an A-, so I didn't get a chance to see this, so read this out to me. I want to know who won.
Yeah, for sure. Raw has been the home of big, sweaty, slapping men and meat, slapping meat lately.
Oh my god!
Racing. But
that's funny.
That trend continues this week with Bronson Reed and Ivar slapped back into the ring with another match. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you guys go ahead.
No, keep going.
Listen, these two behemoths have been trying to prove that who is the better super heavyweight, but the WWE Universe has been a real winner to all of this. Modern pro wrestling doesn't have as many big men, which is honestly true. That's mostly their medium-sized dudes. I would say that the mold is definitely shaped differently nowadays.
Oh yeah, no. The modern wrestler looks like CM Punk, like Rollins now, like smaller dudes. Well, I think wrestling's image has changed with women's tastes because a huge chunk of women watch wrestling and gaming. Not us though. Yep. We're straight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In the 80s, women liked the physique of people like they liked the physique of people like I guess like Bruno Sammartino. That's not 80s though. Like, I'm looking like, well, you get what I'm saying. Like during the 70s, they liked the look of like Bruno. They liked the look.
They wanted the Macho Man, the Hulk Hogan's back in the day, and nowadays that's not really the case anymore.
No, women.
It's more the Seth Rollins and the Roman Reigns types now.
Yeah, women, and I think a lot of it has to do with women and their taste because women want to see that more. I remember Jeff Hart. Like it was crazy because you would have like Scott Steiner, who was like a roided freak, go out there with his insane body, and you wouldn't really hear women go over him, right? But Jeff Hardy would take off his shirt in like 2003, and women would lose their shit. They go
I remember that the Hardy Boys would women would lose their fucking mind over them. They were rock stars.
Yeah, when Hardy would take a shirt off to do a swanton, women would go like you could hear the women in the audience. Their pussies were wet for this man. Okay? Instantly wet. It was like holy shit.
Like punk rock phase.
Imagine
phase back then.
Imagine the cleanup the crew had to do over how wet those floors got. But but it wasn't the same for like the dudes who were actually like roided freaks. They weren't. You know what I mean? So women's tastes have influenced the shape of the modern wrestlers. So yeah, they like them skinny and scrawny and kind of small and pathetic looking. So that's
got some muscle now. What are you talking about? Have you not noticed like freaking AJ Styles coming back? And he's
AJ Styles looks wild right now, bro. He looks like he worked out. Like AJ has a unique look to him, but it doesn't look like AJ has ever aged, does it?
No, he's not.
No, they like their underwear model look, like Finn Balor, like I was saying. Dominic Mysterio's face is probably the problem, but like Dominic Mysterio has like a body type that women like. He just has to like work it out a little. Man, wrestling is really dominated by smaller talent these days. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Like back then,
It is.
like you had to be like 6'5" minimum. Minimum. Now it's like you have wrestlers even smaller than Mysterio out there. So I don't think it's changed and made wrestling worse. I think it's cool because this allows for more athleticism in the ring. Because a lot of wrestling back then was kicks, stomps, finisher, right?
Yeah,
Brawl around the ring,
pretty much for the most
to make
part.
up to make up for the fact that they didn't know how to actually do much chain wrestling. But these these skinnier guys, they know how to wrestle. I got to give them credit. A lot of wrestlers from that other era, they were good at selling, they were good at in-ring storytelling, but they were not as athletically gifted. They were not able to do a lot of the stuff these guys today are doing. Even if it makes wrestling look a lot more cartoonish, it is still really, really cool to see. I don't know why we were talking about this anyway.
I got a long rant.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, back to the whole thing. So the match started off with both men charging each other with a huge collision, which is always great to see two big dudes like that going in. Basically, seeing two semi trucks basically fucking bang, like head on collision. You know what I mean?
I wish
awesome to see.
I wish I would have seen it because like last week those two had an awesome brawl. I liked it. I liked how it spilled out into the arena and they were kicking the shit out of each other and they don't. It wasn't boring because while these two are bigger guys, something about them hitting each other looks more brutal than the smaller guys. You know, like they.
Well, even though they're big guys, they're very agile, both of them.
Yeah, they are. And so anyway, so Bronson won that one, right?
Yes, Bronson Reed did defeat Ivar.
They gave this one an A-, huh? So it sounds like it was a good match. Yeah.
I mean, he delivered hit him with an earth-shattering suplex, from the top rope to get the win. So, like, I mean, come on now. I remember back, like, those type of suplexes off the top rope with two big guys, the ring would collapse back in the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? They've reinforced that crap lately.
I do love I do love it when the mid-carders are able to have, like, these shorter-lasting but much more, like, physical rivalries. Right?
Yeah.
Kind of like when Kane and Mike Knox had a short rivalry. You remember Mike Knox? I don't know if you do, but Kane and Mike Knox had like a short rivalry where they had a few pretty brutal matches on the main card, but it's like, you remember it, you know? Kind of like Rusev when he would like feud with someone. You just remember it. Like they have good matches. I don't know. So this was a pretty cool mid-card match. Congrats to those two for being able to pull off making two fat dudes collide in the ring interesting. Like it's I'm gonna watch it. So anyway, a notable moment to observations.
Notable moments of observations. Ivar was able to kick as high as he can with with his kick being so high, it was super impressive. Analyst Wade Barrett coined the phrase of beef planet division during this match.
Planet division. I like it. Wade Barrett is fucking great on commentary.
Yeah. And the superplex off the top rope would have been perfect time to do a broken ring spot. See, even he agrees with that whole thing. It would have been awesome to see that, but I feel like that's a match you had to cap off the night with. I don't think these guys.
They wanted these two to break the ring.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Because even I mentioned that whole thing. It's like, oh man, like it'd be cool to see that. But I mean, like it is what it is. It's the middle of the show. They ain't gonna fix that ring.
They're not gonna fix
the next people out there.
I don't think a 5-minute commercial break is long enough to fix the ring. No.
Yeah, no way.
Honestly, like the breaking of the ring spot now, but if they broke like a rope, sure. But breaking ropes is a very fucking dangerous spot. That's a very fucking dangerous spot. So I wouldn't risk that for like a casual Monday Night Raw. I would have done, I don't know, like broken the barricade. I don't know, they did that last week. I think they broke a barricade. What can you really do to like highlight that? Like if I was the bookers, I'd be like, there's a reason we don't put these big men against each other too often, because when we do, they destroy the arena, and I would love to display that, like them just literally destroying everything because they're too fat, It would have been.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna do it, put it at the end of the night, to cap off the night.
Yeah. Did anybody at least go through the announce table of this match or no?
No.
All right. Well, the announce table was left untouched. Wow. Surprise.
Wow.
Wow. All right, so KC2. I don't know who the fuck that is. KC2 versus Candice LeRae, I know her, and Indy Hartwell, I know her. Indy Hartwell's pretty cool. So anything memorable? Wait, hold on.
A ton of shit. Yeah.
So there's a backstage segment with Judgment Day first. Actually, read that. Sorry.
Oh no! So the Judgment Day right here. Yeah. It's out there. It was actually out in the ring.
Oh.
So Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Jamie McDonough and Dominic Mysterio came out to give a promo, but they were interrupted by R-Truth, asking why they locked their clubhouse. Priest invited him into the ring to hear what he had to say. Which, I mean, that's just funny to me. I imagine like the whole thing right there. I don't blame him. That man's been in any clubhouse stealing chips, snacks, and whatever. He don't care. I don't care who you are.
It's hilarious. They're like, R-Truth literally goes up there. He's like, "What, you guys locked the room up?"
I'm waiting for the bloodline.
Remember,
that's gonna be crazy.
I mean, like, you got to give it to Truth. He is talented. This man was able to make Brock Lesnar laugh. So, you know.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, go on.
But anyway, so the Archer infamy says everybody loves R-Truth except him, then took him down. The whole group beat him down until the Creed brothers ran in to help R-Truth. They were outnumbered but managed to get the upper hand and clear the ring. Let's see it. The next matchup, though, was the women's tag team bout with Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, which is basically KC2, taking on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, the champions, were on commentary. They only had a couple minutes, so they tried to pack as much as they can as possible before the time was given up at that point. KC2 picked up the win though by pinning Indy Hartwell, but there's not much more to say. Some of them say that it did look good, but the best way to describe it is that this is basically filler or a piss break match.
All women's wrestling is filler, but anyway.
I hate how they brought Indy Hartwell up from the main roster. She was green when they moved her up. Like, she literally just got handed the women's division belt, and then she had to relinquish it just to come to the main roster. And this is what they're doing with her. She's nothing but filler now. It's sad.
Honestly, this is not a match I'm ever going to care about or think about. So let's move on. I have nothing to say about it. Like I'm not invested. I'm not invested in that talent, so I'm sorry. I don't have anything to say about it.
It's a filler match to basically lead us up to a filler match for the filler championship belts. Basically, that nobody cares about. Okay. No one cares about the women's tag team division.
So one of the notable moments, and it's hilarious because here in the Bleacher Report, they've shortened it down to Punk and Kofi Kingston had a nice backstage moment. Say what it is because it was funny.
Yeah, you're making me crazy back then. Okay, that's all the funny. Like, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Where CM Punk's like, "Hey, Kofi Kingston." He's like, "I don't do that." Triple H was the first to do that joke ever. But it is hilarious though that Punk and Kofi Kingston look like they're still cool.
Oh yeah, he always had high praise for Kofi. He always said that he's the best Kingston between him and Eddie Kingston. You remember that back then in AEW when he was in there? You're the second best Kingston out there, not compared to Kofi here. So,
we haven't. You know what's crazy though? It's like, what, we're 3 weeks with Punk now since he's returned.
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks now.
Almost a month of Punk's return yet, and we haven't seen this guy. We haven't seen this guy get his hands dirty once yet. You know.
Right now, we haven't even seen. Go
ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry, but right now, from what I'm seeing, is that he is planning to wrestle at the end of this month against Dominic Mysterio at a live show.
Oh, at a live show. Well, fuck, dude. They still do live shows, huh? Okay.
They do.
I need. I mean, some people tell me to attend the live shows because they're way better than the tapings. So I might do that, but I want to be at a taped event. I'm sorry, like. I know the taped events, like, people tell me that they're worse than live events, but you go to a tape event because it's live, you know? You want to be there in that live environment. Notable moments and observations. Oh, wait, okay. Oh, so Imperium. Oh, wow. Please, Imperium, tell me, Imperium, you can catch a W for once. Imperium versus DIY and The Miz. Oh, come on! They lost again! Are you serious? bro. I don't know. Gunter has way too much patience for his goons, bro. He's got way too much patience for his goons. When Bobby Lashley's goons lose once, he takes their Rolexes away. Imperium, meanwhile, can lose every week, and Gunter doesn't say anything. Fucking bullshit. It's fake, Frit. Why are you getting upset? I mean, cause I can. It's bullshit. Poor Imperium.
It is bullshit.
Like, I mean, like he's the most dominant champion, but he has the weakest faction? Come on, bro. Anyway, read this next segment for us, Delta.
The next segment right here, before the lead up to the match here, was Becky Lynch came out and played a video showing how Nia Jax broke her nose 5 years ago, the thing that made it relevant, basically, in my opinion, and spoke about how they never had a chance to properly follow up on that. Jax eventually made her way out and said to the man that she was lucky that she didn't connect with her full force when she hit her. The segment was short, but it set up a future match. And up next was the 6-man tag match with Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Rivinci taking on Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and their mystery partner, The Miz. I know, man.
How are you losing to these chumps?
Come on now. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are not chumps.
No, they're not. But when they're, I forget that Tommaso Ciampa is like the Miz's sidekick, I guess, or whatnot.
It was like his protege or something like that. He was trying to build up before that.
You're right. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are not chumps. They are good. I mean, but like their status on the card, they are chumps, right?
Yeah.
Dude, they're in the ring with a man who's basically undefeated right now. Basically. I don't count Chad Gable's count out against him. Because it's a fucking count out. It's not a pin. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's not a submission, it's a count out. So it's like they're basically with an indestructible object in the ring. And Gunter's lackeys are just so fucking pathetic. And it sucks. Yeah. It really irritates me to see how pathetic they are. They're there to get pinned. They haven't had a single dub in a while. Okay. Keep reading. I'm over it.
Anyway.
I'm over it.
All right. Yeah, you did. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. This fucking guy. So anyway, the A-lister has a history with Gargano and Ciampa, but appeared to have set that aside to take on the bigger threat in Imperium. Gunther took down Gargano with a massive chop to kick things off, which, I mean, that echoed the entire room probably with that nasty chop right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, but anyway, obviously the Imperium being one of the best trios in all professional wrestling, DIY has always been a great tag team, and The Miz is a veteran who is capable of more than what people realize. It will surprise nobody to find out that these 6 men put on a great performance. The A-lister picked up the win for the team after hitting Vinci with the skull-crushing finale. The Cleveland crowd, of course they're going to win. That's another thing, too. The Miz is from Cleveland, so of course he's going to win it there.
They're in Miz's hometown. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, anyway, so the Cleveland crowd cheered to their hometown stars. Not to mention, too, yeah, Gargano is also from Cleveland as well.
Oh.
So that's another reason why. Come on, man, you gotta root for the home guy. Come on now.
No. Am I so out of touch? No, Cleveland's out of touch. There we go.
Yeah, it is Ohio. You know, as a Michigander myself,
it's Logan. I'm surprised Logan Paul didn't come out.
Yeah.
Isn't Logan Paul from Ohio? How about
he's from Ohio. Yeah.
I'm surprised Logan Paul wasn't there tonight. Or maybe no, it's not Smackdown. What am I saying? All right. Anyway.
Oh man. But anyway, so the notable moments and observations right here, like Becky Lynch had a joke about Nia Jax's knees, basically. I gotta find that. That was a funny joke. I sent it to you. I remember it.
You did send it to me, and I was like, I got a chuckle out of me. I'm like, oh, women are funny.
That was a good one. Let me see. Let me find it. I was like, holy crap! Apologies for this. It caught me by surprise that joke.
Yeah, it was very on the nose. So. It was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, right here. She went down to get This is Becky Lynch's quote here, folks. She went on to get a double ACL surgery because Nia is a woman that is so unlikable that even her own knees wouldn't stand up for her. That's a good one. That's a good burn. I'm not gonna lie.
You know that joke was written by a man.
Oh yeah, that's the funny thing about it. Oh, we're never gonna beat the
Kind of like Ronda Rousey. Well, when Ronda Rousey says like the only doors you broke down was the one in John Cena's bedroom. Like a man wrote that for you. Oh, come on, Ronda. A man wrote that for you. Come on. We all know they do. Anyway, keep going. So Imperium lost. Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah, Imperium lost so well. But moving on to the next segment here. Let's see here. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cody Rhodes to cap off the night with the main event right here. Let's see here. The main event of this week's Raw was a showdown between Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura. They have been building this story for weeks now, ever since even prior to the Survivor Series. Let's see here. But this is the first time that they actually had a chance to be in the ring together as opponents. Their only previous performance together was on the same side of a 6-man tag all the way back in July. Wow. So WWE gave them the last 3 segments of the show for the first ever encounter. Let's see here. The American Nightmare was on full defense until he managed to take out Nakamura's knee to turn the tide in his favor. They were evenly matched. Yeah, that's so funny. It's like, I don't know. I like this Nakamura.
Heel Nakamura is fucking great, dude. Like
the first run as heel was terrible, but this one's way better.
No, what's good about this heel run is like he's just like, I just want to hurt people. I'm like, good. That's a good heel role. It's very basic, but that's what you need sometimes because a lot of these other heels are just. One day they're good guys and one day they're bad guys with no explanation. You know,
I like how we're kind of like getting the gray aspect of a heel and not just like the cartoonish black
he's a sadist.
White beginning.
He's like a sadist, you know, like he likes I like it. It's Nakamura is like they're giving him like main event spots. You know, this is great. This is very good for him because at one point. He wasn't doing anything.
Wasn't doing jack.
They had him as
he had the Intercontinental title belt. Remember before Gunther he had the Intercontinental belt. He had done jack shit with that.
They had at one point, Sami Zayn was his valet.
Yeah, I remember that. That was terrible.
That was like that's how like much they had nothing. Like when they put Sami Zayn to be the valet for Nakamura, that's how much they had nothing for both of them.
Yep.
And Nakamura had the Intercontinental belt. I mean. The Intercontinental belt looks good on Nakamura, but he doesn't really need a belt as a heel. I think he's just out to hurt people. He likes inflicting pain. It's cool. It's good. I like it. Very simple.
Anyway, so they were like evenly matched in size, speed, and power, but both men use different styles in the ring. Nakamura is a striker and submission specialist, while Rhodes is more of a traditional technician, but both can adjust to their styles of work with just about anyone in the ring. As their first encounter, they did a good job making this worthy of the main event spot, while also leaving plenty of room to grow for their inevitable rematches, especially since it ended in a disqualification due to Nakamura using the red mist, which is interesting because I figured we've seen mist be sprayed on people before. I never seen him get DQ'd. Is like I don't know, or am I crazy here? Because
Delta, you have to remember this is WWE booking, okay? Nothing makes sense.
That's true.
Nothing makes sense on WWE booking, okay? Like, I was watching Smackdown last night, and what happened? I forgot who it was. Right. It was AJ Styles. He cheap shots LA Knight while in the ring, right? Yeah. But it's like a regular punch, right? And then LA Knight's just laying there on the floor. He's like, oh, and then he's just staring at AJ Styles, slowly walking out the ring. I'm like, what would you get up and go punch him, right? Really, you're not knocked out, right? So right. That's just it's wrestling. Sometimes Nakamura can hit. Folks. Nakamura can hit the miss sometimes and not get disqualified, and he can hit the miss sometimes and get. It just doesn't make sense. Like
it doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's like it's weird. It's weird sometimes. It's wrestling though for you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so WWE is already hyping up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So between these two, I'm glad that it ended in disqualification. I didn't want a definitive winner this soon between these two. We need a definitive winner on a pay-per-view, but Nakamura is not going to win this one. So, yeah.
Probably not. Ultimately, no.
If he wins,
Cody's unstoppable.
I have a feeling he'll win one bout against Cody on like an episode of Raw, though. But it's probably going to be long after their rivalry. It's just, Rhodes, like everyone they throw Rhodes at, he basically beats except Reigns. Nobody beats Reigns though, so that's fair. Okay then. Well, that was Monday Night Raw. Very, very lackluster event. Not much going for it. If you missed this episode of Monday Night Raw, you wouldn't have missed much at all. That's sad to say, because it should be must-watch TV. But they do treat a lot of episodes of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown as like throwaway things. And they build up their pay-per-views, but honestly, it's like I want to not like be interrupted with commercial breaks in the middle of my matches. That shit gets annoying. I think we should hit commercial break before we go to backstage segments, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, or maybe hit commercial break right after a match. Like, they do that too, but these episodes are too fucking long. They're 3 hours long. They're full of that many.
That's Raw.
Yeah, Raw's like 3 hours long. Sorry. And it's full of that many ads, and it's that uneventful. You know? Cut back this show by an hour already. Stop being greedy, WWE. Just cut this show back by an hour. It's really hurting the quality of it. It's not an easy viewing experience for me. I don't know how it is for you, Delta. When you watch Monday Night Raw, do you watch it in segments or do you sit there and watch it all live? Because I find that hard to do.
It depends. Like, I will usually watch in segments, stuff like that, because just like you said, like it's all live. It's very bloated, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And so it gets annoying after a while. Just like, and the thing is too, in my opinion, like the in ring breaks for commercial breaks and all that stuff like that should be for the non-pivotal matches, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. That's just me though. I feel like the main focus stories right now, the main stories you want to focus on right now as a viewer, they should not have a commercial break in between the two. But I get that's the only way they're going to get the people to watch the ads is to watch them during the big feuds.
And think about it. Think about the people who pay to go watch it in person. You're paying to go see ads in person as well.
Yeah.
That's
basically insane. You're paying to go see ads half the time.
And you didn't bring anyone cool to the card tonight. I mean, CM Punk wasn't even out tonight, right?
No. I mean, like, he had a segment, obviously.
He had a segment, right? Sorry. I already forgot. He had his segment. But Rollins didn't wrestle, so that's fine. Rollins wrestles a lot. He can have a break. But man, I don't know. It was just if you missed this episode, you would have been fine. So anyway, let's move on to SmackDown. But unless there's anything about NXT you specifically want to talk about, I don't have anything notable other than Ilya Dragunov. Apparently, what I heard was he got injured, but he looks fine now.
I need to look into Dragunov's status and everything. I need to fall back on that. I need to check that out.
His status wasn't confirmed, but he took a pretty nasty bump that looked like it caused his neck to break. But then, like, I saw a social media post from Dragunov on Twitter, and he seemed fine. I don't know what's going on. I need an actual update on that, because like everybody's like, he's out, he's injured, he broke his fucking neck. I'm like, what? And now I'm hearing he's fine. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what to believe.
From what it seems like, it is a storyline injury.
Oh, okay. It's a storyline injury. Thank fucking God.
That looked rough. That looked rough.
He sold it good then. That's how good Dragunov is. He sold that like a fucking G. That's how good he is. All right then. With that being said, we're moving on to SmackDown then.
Moving on to SmackDown now. All right. So
go for it.
as the way things are, SmackDown is a shorter, and in my opinion, a much more tighter show, despite having some mid segments in there. But it is a tighter show overall versus Raw being so bloated. But anyway, we're starting off for here with Roman Reigns finally returning after being gone for a long break here. Roman Reigns returned on SmackDown Friday night and was immediately confronted by the next challenger for his undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Randy Orton. The Viper issued words to warnings to Reigns, recognizing that his growth and evolution as a wrestler, but vowing to take everything away from him, just like the Tribal Chief took everything away from him 18 months ago. Orton threw down the challenge for a match at the Royal Rumble, which Reigns denied. And it nearly ate, with an RKO, especially if you watch that segment, like he instantly, it was like watching like a freaking wrestling match in a video game. Like he hit Y to escape that thing so quick, to counter that move so quick. It was crazy.
It was Roman, and the way he was like, at the bottom of the ropes, looking all like chicken shit. It was. I mean, to be fair, like Randy's RKO is still a thing of beauty. Like 20 plus years later, it is still a really nice move to look at. So, I do like as well how Randy said like the voices in my head are telling me you just crapped your pants, right? I would have preferred if he said, if they let him drop, if they let him say shit your pants and they would have blurted it, but because that would have been a lot cooler. But whatever, it's still the same, crap shit, same thing. I liked it. I liked the segment. I liked the confrontation between these two. Randy legitimately looks like he wants to kill Roman. Randy is very good at selling the face of a serial killer, really.
Oh yeah.
Randy looks like like a serial killer. He legitimately looks like an angry person. Which is why every time I see Randy Orton interviews, they throw me off. I'm like, what? Because he's so fucking good at selling the male resting bitch face. And Roman did his shit talking, which was good. So what do you think between these two? Are you looking forward to these two fighting?
I hope like the back and forth of them is actually good. I just don't want to have a simple match between the two, just to have Randy being fed to Roman.
No, we need a steel cage. I want a steel cage match. No interference from Heyman, no interference from Sequoia or Jimmy. It's going to be completely one-on-one in the cage. And Randy's going to have to lose, though. That's the thing. Randy's going to have to lose. He's going to, his momentum is going to be cut short facing Roman, It's going to be cut short.
Well, here's the thing. All right. I'm pretty sure Roman's not going to show up to the WWE Elimination Chamber in Australia. I'm pretty sure. Because all you have right now, you have nothing until the end of January, which is the Royal Rumble. We need to have a big segment for Roman to win. It's not just having Randy being there. And I think everyone's alluding towards the idea that it's going to be a fatal four-way match with him, Randy, LA Knight, and it's going to be AJ Styles there. So, and that could be the case. That could be the case.
That sounds like a pretty big Elimination Chamber match, actually.
It could be that, but we'll see.
I'm actually quite looking forward to this year's Elimination Chamber. The problem with the Elimination Chamber match is pay-per-view is it's rarely or hardly influenced the path WrestleMania would go down. WrestleMania is ultimate, the card is ultimately made up by January, and come Elimination Chamber, hardly anything about that changes it. Very rarely has it. Undertaker dropped the belt at Elimination Chamber to Jericho at one point. That was things like that don't happen too often. But then Bray Wyatt took the belt off of Cena.
I was about to say Bray Wyatt won his belt in the Elimination Chamber,
which also changed the course of the Mania match, making it Randy versus Wyatt, which really wasn't. Nobody really wanted that, to be honest. But
exactly.
So we'll see. It's crazy because on Monday Night Raw, you can have Rhodes versus... Man, if Punk is in the Elimination Chamber match, that would be sick. But I doubt that's going to happen. But if it's Rhodes in there, CM Punk in there, I would put Damian Priest in there, honestly. I would put Damian Priest in the elimination match. Who else would you put in there? Let's see. Who else could you put in there?
Well, I'm just saying, like for Royal Rumble, I think that Fatal 4-Way is going to happen there. And then like Roman's gone, he ain't even going to be in the Elimination Chamber. He's going to be gone all the way to WrestleMania because the Elimination Chamber is the only pay-per-view between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, all the crazy shit goes down at the Rumble.
Yeah.
I actually look forward to the Rumble more than Mania these days. The Rumble is going to, that's definitely going to, that'll be an interesting 4-way now that you mention it. That might actually happen. That might actually fucking happen. We haven't been wrong before here. You know, we Nostradamus ourselves quite often on this channel.
A lot of Nostradamus work going on here.
Yeah.
So. But like I said, like it'd be interesting to see that because Roman's going to probably be gone. He won't show up Australia, as far as I'm aware. And I think you'll get the winner at for Roman. It's either going to be Cody, or it's going to be Punk, one of the two. I think it's going to be Cody. He's going to win the Royal Rumble, in my opinion.
Again,
I think so.
I think
they're going to build him they got to build him as a force, as just as much as a god mode as Roman. What better way to say within a year that after losing to Roman, that he went up against Brock Lesnar, beat him twice in the 3-bout matches they had, and he also started early in the Royal Rumble. He's already said he's going to be in it, and what better way to have him start early in the Rumble and win it? That way you show him how much of a god he is. Leads him all the way to, two dudes in god mode fighting each other night 2 at WrestleMania.
Man,
so
what are they gonna do for Sami Zayn for Mania? I'm just thinking.
I don't fucking know.
It's crazy. He had like his breakout year this year, but I don't see any plans for the guy for Mania. I don't know how you're gonna book him for what.
He's probably gonna take a break, most likely. If anything, he'll have something with the Judgment Day, I imagine, for WrestleMania.
Man, if this is why I wish sometimes the Money in the Bank ladder match was back at WrestleMania. You know, because
I wish that was there.
You would have stuff. Is there going to be? I hope they don't have a battle royale for a stupid trophy this year or some shit. You know?
I really wish. I just really wish like WWE would do away with like the gimmick pay-per-views, like Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber or Hell in a Cell, for example. We don't need to make these things the staple of a pay-per-view. That should be an event type of deal to make people be excited for it. I would rather be surprised and excited to have say I want to face you in Hell in a Cell. In a Hell in a Cell match. That way, you're like, holy shit, we haven't seen this in a minute. You know, it's a big deal to see this back and return. And it's a big way to cap off this storyline versus like, oh, we're going to have a pay-per-view at Hell in a Cell. We're going to have to make a match in here.
The last time Hell in a Cell felt impactful to me was Taker and Triple H at Mania. Because during this time, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-views were a thing. But Triple H and Undertaker were like, we're going to fight in Hell in a Cell at Mania. People are like, oh,
it was a big deal.
It means something because it's not a part of the gimmick. Kind of like they make a TLC pay-per-view. Like, really? You're making a pay-per-view after a gimmick match? The gimmick match means something when it's its own thing, not an overall event. Remember the Extreme Rules pay-per-view? And those pay-per-views weren't even that extreme.
Yeah, TLC needs to be an event type of deal. I remember that was a big deal when Mick Foley announced that shit. That was a big deal back then. Yeah. Now it's just like it's a staple. I'm like, why do we have to do this? Why? Just make some creative names for pay-per-views and actually putting these matches back to being what they are. They're matches for events.
You know, like the pay-per-views that Royal Rumble works because the Royal Rumble is like the thing you want to go see at the Royal Rumble.
That's a main story element for WrestleMania. It's been that way since the inception of WrestleMania, basically.
I hear you playing Modern Warfare in the background.
Sorry, Alex.
Ah!
I was doing a lot of stuff over here. I apologize.
You're trying to stay awake.
I didn't know my mic was picking up that. My apologies, everyone.
Wow! Delta, anyway, you were so...
we've been ranting on too much. No, enough of that. We had to discuss. We gotta discuss. We gotta discuss
I
the
love
card.
how
We gotta
I
discuss
could.
the card.
Okay.
We're running out of time. We gotta run,
Okay,
running
all
out of
right,
time.
all right. Okay. So,
So
anyway, that happened between Reigns and Randy. Anyway, all right. Shut your mouths. Reigns said, "I wouldn't have to do that if you would have kept the booze down." It was good to see Roman again, though. I was really happy to see Roman again. I missed him.
great to see Roman always.
No. Back then, I used to be like, I don't want this man on my TV, and now I'm like, where's Roman? That's you know
I
how
may
us
carry this company on his back.
you know how us wrestling fans are. We don't know what we want. United States
No.
Championship Contenders Tournament. So Carmelo Hayes versus Grayson Waller. What was the result on this one, Delta?
Carmelo Hayes ended up winning this match surprisingly, and it really showed that he really is a top tier talent. And I honestly think he should be on the main roster. I think he's well equipped and well suited for SmackDown. I think realistically he should be leaving NXT and coming to the main roster. I think he would fit right at home with these guys, in my opinion. But that's just me though. Anyway, so let's read this thing. Familiar foes: Grayson Waller, former NXT champion; Carmelo Hayes. They fought back and forth on NXT during the time before Grayson Waller made his move up to the main roster. Clash in the United States Championship Contenders Tournament match. Hayes overcame the damage to his knee, exploited by Waller, to fight his way back to the match in his best former rival with his finisher, nothing but net. It was a good match, with probably highlighted Hayes, which is a very good thing. He is the future of the company and a world champion within the next 5 to 10 years. And with that said, it was interesting to see Waller, a regular fixture on the main roster programming, being clean here. He's better than let's see here. He's better than than that in many ways, but may even be a bigger star than Hayes, thanks to the enormous personality and athleticism. Preserving some of his credibility early in his WWE run could be the difference between him and him realizing his fullest potential and not. So Hayes pinned Waller at the end of the day. Corey Graves and Michael Cole and the takeaways and Kevin Patrick were all over Waller, targeting his knee for the opponent, but none of them pointed out that Hayes was also attacked backstage on Tuesday NXT and has knee damage. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, they weren't there doing the commentary for it, so like they can't like be on top of that stuff like that, because it's a whole segment between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They're like who's fucking with who. For all we know, it could be Carmelo fucking with Trick Williams.
And Hayes won clean, right? So
he did. So it might be a red herring, but it might also be Carmelo Hayes might not be a heel in disguise as a face.
Okay. If he did a heelish thing over Grayson Waller, people would have still cheered him on because Grayson Waller's still a heel. So
of course.
So it's but anyway, heel versus heel bout like this, right? Or no, Hayes is supposed to be a face now, right? Or no, he's a heel.
He is a face, yeah.
Okay, he's a Hayes. Okay, yeah. A lot of I don't know, people are excited to see him again. I was like, okay, whatever. The next was the United States Championship Contenders Tournament. Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. We basically know who won that one for sure, right? It was Owens. I don't care for these two. People always get.
You don't care for either one of them?
People get annoyed at me that I don't care about Kevin Owens. I'm just like, what does Kevin Owens do? He just shouts all the time. He just screams all the time. I was like, I don't know. People really like Kevin Owens though. Austin Theory, I don't like him yet, but I know he's going to be a breakout star in a few years. The guy likes wrestling. The guy's like the equivalent of my youngest brother being a pro wrestler now.
He's like a fucking dork back during his NXT times. Now he's just like he acts like he's some cocky shit out there, but his character is so aimless ever since like the whole thing with him and Cena. Like Headman has been nothing but like in his own like Odyssey story of just lost and aimless of what his character is supposed to be nowadays.
I like him as a cocky heel champion. I really like him as a cocky heel champion. But I think when it comes to Austin Theory, the fans, they're pushing hard they're pushing this guy hard on the fans in a similar way they did to Cena. But unlike Cena, this guy actually had the balls to be heel. So I don't know. Anyway, obviously fans are gonna chant for Owens. Owens won that one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Theory since he's not in that match now. What are you gonna put Theory against? Theory might not even be at Mania.
I was surprised that Theory's not a Mania at this point.
As Roman Reigns said, Daddy's not home.
Yeah.
Daddy's not here. So without McMahon by his side, what's Austin Theory going to do?
Yeah.
Also, he was like, the whole gimmick of the match was Owens had like a cast on his arm or something.
Yeah, from his injury. That was, remember the previous week where he got injured. Yeah, he got injured for his wrist and everything. So they had him on a cast, but he was supposed to still fight. And he realizes now that he used that cast as a legal weapon out there, apparently. So that's what he used it, and that's how got him the win out there against Theory. And he realized, I love how they zoomed in on him on the camera when he realized, oh fuck, okay, I'm gonna pin this guy now. He's knocked out from me in the face with the fucking cast.
Apparently, Logan Paul was out there, or he had a promo.
Yeah, Logan Paul's insert promo.
I missed that. Oh man, I really like actually seeing Logan Paul on SmackDown. I actually find him to be one of the most entertaining aspects of the show at times. I don't know why. It's jarring, right? It's like big YouTuber is now in the ring as the United States champion of a wrestling company I've been watching for so long.
I mean, like, it makes sense to have Logan have a segment in there and have a promo. I mean, he is the U.S. champion right now, so like he's got to be part of the storyline.
It's just so hard to believe. Still, he's the U.S. champion, and he beat.
I could totally
and
see
he beat a childhood hero of mine, like Rey Mysterio. Just, I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, it's like I think he is good enough. You know, I think he is good.
I think he's proved himself enough in the ring that he deserves to be
well,
a champion.
He proved himself, and he says, you know, it's true. He admits it himself. Like, he is better than some of the actual groomed talent in the back. He actually knows how to talk like a heel. He knows how to wrestle. He looks credible. He doesn't look like he has the image of the modern wrestler, and he's hated by some fans. And I like how they always roast his drink. Like, every wrestler roasts his drink. I see that everywhere. What is it, Prime? That's the name of the drink?
Yeah, the Prime is the drink.
Yeah. They're always roasting his drink. Anyway, I gotta check out that Logan Paul segment. I can't believe I missed out on that. Anyway, Mia Yim, Zelina Vega versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. I saw part of this. Zelina Vega, I miss her black hair. So
yeah, I agree. The white hair's not doing anything for me, but it's good to see the Kabuki Warriors back together again with Asuka and Kairi Sane.
The Kabuki Warriors.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we
sir.
are tag team.
We are tag team.
We are tag
Dude,
team.
actually, Asuka's like really funny on Twitter. I actually run into her posts every now and then. She's really funny, honestly.
I saw her YouTube stuff. She actually has quite a bubbly personality, and she's a bit of a geek herself. So I still have that crush on Asuka I did originally. The problem for me is like, just don't have Asuka speak English, because sometimes like if you give her a script, you're gonna make Asuka look cringe. Just let her do her ghetto Japanese girl stuff. You know, I like that where she's just like a violent Japanese girl. So I was like, good luck, everybody! Anyway, top moments and takeaways. So, Kevin Patrick revealed on commentary that Charlotte Flair suffered a knee injury last week that will keep her out of action for fucking 9 months. Good. Charlotte Flair needs a break, like you said. A huge blow for the Queen in the women's division. When was the last time Charlotte was injured?
Oh man, it's been a minute. But I remember like she also suffered a long injury prior to with the last injury she did. But I mean, a knee injury though, shit, you're out for at least 6 months. At least that.
Bro, your knee blows out, you're not doing anything for a while.
Yeah,
you'll be
I've
lucky.
had my knee blown out. I was out for 6 months at least.
Oh, bro, how did that happen?
My knee went one way, my leg went the other way.
You were just walking and it just happened?
No, I got into a squabble with my brother, and like I think he swept my leg, and I locked my knee up when I did it, and that's what happened.
I've had people go for my
So
I've had people go for my legs intentionally in fights before, where they go to
yeah,
kick your leg, and
mm-hmm,
someone kicked my leg pretty good below the right
mm-hmm,
below the knee before, and I was like, but I was lucky to have pulled back just a bit because at full force, man, I would have blown my knee out. Um, yeah, no, people. Yeah, no, don't fuck with your knees. Everybody, take good care of your knees. All right, your knees are quite important, and they're also a good weapon. Your knee is a very good weapon if you use it right. Bailey cut a pre-tape promo in which she touted Damage Control's plans for impending dominance, including the Kabuki Warriors' chase of the tag titles and her entry into the Royal Rumble. The looks of her teammates upon that revelation told the story of a team ready to cut bait with their founder. Damn, they still haven't kicked Bailey out?
I really do think the women's Royal Rumble is like her last chance, and at that point, they're just gonna cut her loose,
Bro, I would have kicked her ass out like 2 months ago. You know?
right?
I will say, you know what's funny? I look at it this way. Bailey is like the Finn Balor of the women's roster.
It really is. Like she's such a great talent, but she doesn't need to be doing this shit. She's there.
You know, she is definitely the Finn Balor of the women's roster. Just losing all the time. Bad as a heel. Doesn't work as a heel, you know. And I don't know. But the thing is, Bailey still looks like she could do more damage than Finn Balor because Finn Balor is so tiny. Bailey's ass, like, she looks like she could hurt you with her ass cheeks. Finn Balor is just,
Probably would.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if she did. By the way,
Earth shattering your face. With
I wouldn't mind if
she
shattered my scrotum with her ass. Vega is really Vega's really good, and has made the most of every opportunity she has received here in 2023. Still, she is more of a hidden gem than the star she should be. Wouldn't you mind if
she really is? Honestly, she really is. Like ever since her match with Rhea Ripley back in during Backlash, like she's kind of been taking a back seat role for the most part, which sucks because I think she has a lot of talent. Honestly,
yeah. You wouldn't mind being snooed to death by every woman on the roster?
I would not mind. I'm caroused by the idea of it, but yes, I would be down for it.
You're caroused. Here's the deal, all right? You are going to die. You have no choice. You're sentenced to death. Snoo to death. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: you get all women on the roster, but they're all randomly like put in order. So you might accidentally get Nia Jax at first, or you might accidentally.
You know what?
You might get a Shayna Baszler at first, but you might get Rhea Ripley.
Or Piper Niven.
Yeah, but you might get a Rhea Ripley. What? Yeah.
I'll take that bet.
You're like, are you? But there's a chance I might land on Rhea. You're like, let's go, spin the wheel. Whoa!
Spin the wheel, baby.
You land on Shayna Baszler. You're like, oh shit. She murders you. She murders you in bed.
Can I put a bag on it? Can I put a bag on it? That'd be great.
I have a bag on it. Dude, I'm like, please land on Selena Vega. Please land on Selena Vega. The name of that other fat chick. I forgot her name.
Yeah, Piper Niven.
Piper Niven. Like, oh shit.
I can make it work. I can make it work.
Bro, honestly,
as long as I get another spin afterwards, I can make it work.
Tell you what, I'm gonna actually work on producing an external widget that I can bring on screen here that will be a spin wheel with all the women.
Mm.
And every episode, I'm like, all right, before we end it, I'm like, let's see who you get to fuck tonight, and we'll spin the wheel. Oh shit, that comes off so wrong.
Like I said, we're never being the misogynist allegations on us at all.
No, well, I won't. You'll be fine. These were all my ideas. You're not gonna get in trouble. You're fine. Randy Orton versus Jimmy Uso. This was a very short match. But
very short.
Yeah. LA Knight came out for the save, even though Randy told him to stay out of his way. I was surprised Randy Orton didn't RKO LA Knight tonight. Like, Randy always gives you a face like, even though you helped him, he's still pissed at you that you're near him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, right.
Randy doesn't look like he likes people around. You know, that's probably why fans resonate with Randy. Randy is just like you pointed out earlier. Like they kind of stone cold him a bit. Like he's just like what do they call it? He's a tweener. Do you think he's a tweener? Is what he is?
Yeah, maybe.
Because he's willing to RKO.
Possibly.
He's willing to RKO good guys, and he's willing to RKO anybody really. So I was surprised.
Anyone that gets in his way.
Yeah, so I was surprised LA Knight was next to him and he didn't RKO him, but he won because of LA Knight. Anyway, AJ Styles is back. We talked about that. AJ Styles return. He helped them take out part of the bloodline, but at the end he hits AJ. He hits LA Knight, cheap shots him, and then slowly walks out the ring as LA Knight just stares at him walking away. Which again, I don't know why they do this. Like moments like that take me out of the wrestling, right? Because like it's not like LA Knight was incapacitated. He was like staring at AJ walking away after hitting him. Maybe the whole idea is like he's stunned that happened. It's like what? But no, the LA, you figure LA Knight would get up and go chase AJ and start a brawl. I mean, I think these two should have brawled, and to end SmackDown. Really, like if AJ turned heel, or maybe there's I don't know. AJ and Knight never really had an altercation on WWE anyway, right? Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Never.
As far as I know,
no. In TNA, I think these two did have an altercation on TNA. I think they did.
And they could briefly mention that as a long-term booking. Triple H is all about long-term booking, so it's possible.
It could be, yeah. Yeah, actually, that it would make sense. But anyway, that is your recap of this week in wrestling. It wasn't a very eventful week. Nothing that exciting. It's kind of hard to top, the return of CM Punk from a month ago. After this, we're just going to have to wait and see. The Royal Rumble is what I'm looking so forward to, but it's so far off. To think we're going to have a month gap with no pay-per-views is so weird. But here we are.
Yeah, we have like 6 weeks still to go? I think,
yeah, so they better do some heavy booking, but I highly doubt it. Like, yes, I think WWE is better than AEW, but that doesn't mean I think WWE's product is that good overall. I'm invested in the talent. They got me invested in the talent, but they don't have me invested in the shows. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather hear if the talent won than to see it, and that's a problem because I want to watch it. I want to be invested in watching a lot of this, but so much of it is filler. A lot of filler backstage segments, drawn out wrestling matches that don't make sense. Too much ad placement. It's very hard to watch. It's very corporatized wrestling. You're feeling it, You feel it on a weekly basis if you're watching it enough. So if you like watching wrestling and you don't feel like there's enough of it, something might be wrong with you. Something might be wrong with you. You gotta be on the spectrum for that one. You're the type of person that probably leaves. You probably leave a stain on the chairs when you leave these wrestling arenas. Anyway, Delta. Hey, Frit, start a wrestling channel. Hey, Frit, just insult wrestling fans. That's how it is, though. That's how it is. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for watching this episode. We got more coming for the channel. So, Delta, if you want to say bye to everyone for us, and we will end it.
Awesome. Thank you guys for listening to us, and appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to listen to this content. We look forward to see you guys next week.
Yes, sir. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.